I think the charismatic movement is a perpetual threat against the sufficiency of Scripture. It's fundamentally a denial of the sufficiency of Scripture. The idea is that we must be getting fresh revelation all the time or we don't have enough. And charismatics tend to treat Scripture as a dead letter and not quite as exciting or important as the latest revelations that they think they're getting from God. That is a serious and significant threat to Protestantism. You can look back really through church history, and until the 20th century, there really hasn't been any movement that claimed to be getting continual revelation from God and that was accepted in mainstream Christianity. And so that's something new and different and dangerous, extremely dangerous. And it's also become politically incorrect to be critical of charismaticism because so many people across the spectrum of theology have embraced charismatic ideas. Nobody really wants to fight that fight. I think it's still an important issue that we need to confront and deal with from Scripture. There are lots of others. Pragmatism, the idea that the unchurched should decide, what sort of church services we have, or that best business practices should say, here's how we do church. We should treat the church as an entrepreneurial effort and learn from what happens in business and all that and run the church like that, rather than actually letting Scripture determine our church polity and practice. That's a denial of the sufficiency of Scripture, that we have to learn from other people things that Scripture doesn't tell us. Dependence on psychology is another major attack on the sufficiency of Scripture. And I think most recently the social justice movement is an attack on the sufficiency of Scripture because most of the people who have bought into that rhetoric and language have a definition of justice that is sadly unbiblical. It leaves out at least half of what Scripture says about justice. Biblical justice is as much about the punishment of evildoers as it is about kindness and grace to the poor and all of that. And the social justice movement has sort of transmogrified the whole idea of justice so that now it becomes the redistribution of wealth and privilege. And that is not a biblical idea of justice. So all of these things have arisen because people have departed from Scripture or gone beyond Scripture to get their strategies and definitions and ideas about what should be done in the church. I would say, in a way, practically every error that threatens the church today is rooted in one way or another in a lack of confidence in the sufficiency of Scripture.